Home of March Madness, 97.7 The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
And a good Friday morning to you as we get going on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham. And we are always brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
Yes, and you can show up on the phone lines at 256-576-4977, or you can show up in the chat on WZZN TV, where we are going live right now, no matter if it's Facebook, X, or YouTube. You can watch us everywhere that you possibly get your social media information.
Well, maybe not Facebook. Well, quit lying to the people.
The link is there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it takes you to YouTube, maybe even X. But you can't watch it there because of all the music that we have on our amazing show that we pay for. We pay for.
I just want
to let people know that.
Sometimes it's just better to ask for forgiveness. And I think that just at this point, we're already getting all the notifications anyway from stuff from like 2 and 3 years ago. It's going to be 2 or 3 years before they hear it anyway.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'd rather not be in the bad graces of Warner Bros. Music.
Nah, we've got the right documentation.
Okay, fine. At the end of the day, we definitely do. And at the end of the day, we do have MVPs over in the NFL, as well as
we have one.
Hall of Fame ballots. Well, no, it depends on whether we want to talk about the NFL Honors MVP or the Build Submarines MVP.
No, we're not talking about the Jersey Mike MVP.
Geez.
I
Regardless,
don't care what it is.
We did get 4 Hall of Famers inducted yesterday, and I'm pretty excited for it. But at the same time, there were some snubs, so we will be talking a little bit about that. We also have Drew DeArmond on deck to talk a little bit of Alabama basketball, as well as SEC basketball.
Heck, we got to talk Huntsville basketball after last night.
A little bit of Huntsville basketball. I know you were on location for those insane matchups, as well as we had other people elsewhere. Steve Moulton, Scott Tyson over at UAH. I believe they won 21 straight. It was their 21st win in a row.
Yeah, they're in BFE right now.
And that was in Cleveland, Mississippi, which I didn't know there was a Cleveland, Mississippi until like 2 days ago. But I know about Cleveland, Tennessee. I know about Cleveland, Ohio.
What's really crazy is that not only is there a Cleveland, Tennessee, but a Cleveland, Mississippi, but both of the teams and the universities that are in those cities are in the GSC with UAH. So at some point in time, UAH either goes to Delta State, which screw Delta State, and then the other side they could go is when they go to Cleveland, Tennessee, it's to play Lee, who's also in the GSC.
Oh, okay. Well, I had no idea that Lee was also over there.
I was offered by Lee, so it's the only reason I know. I went to Lee for a few visits. Lee is fantastic.
There's a few universities or colleges that are named Lee as well, and then on top of that, some high schools here in Huntsville, but. Regardless of that, it was a huge win, and it's very exciting, and it's going to continue on because, of course, UAH is going to be playing some games this weekend as well.
And it's not just the fact that it was a huge win. It was the 21st win for the men, which is now a school record, as it was not just their 21st win because they're 21-1. They have won 21 straight games. They're only
That's
lost.
What I said, Joe.
I know, but what I'm adding to what you were saying by saying they lost the first game of the regular season. They have won 21 straight, and that one last night was the record in this. If you're wondering about the UAH record for wins in a season, that is 30, which was in 1980 and 81. Wow. Now, they only have 6 regular season games remaining, but with tournaments and everything else coming up, there's a possibility for that. But look, it's not just the men as well, because the women also won last night. They're now 18-4 on the season, which is the most amount of wins that they have in a season since 2019 and 20, where they won 19 and they still have 6 games to go. Yeah. So they have the ability to beat that as well and to go over. Last time that a UAH women's team won 20 games was 2012 when they won. And so that is another record that this women's team is going for. This women's team is good. They are really good. So it's not just whenever we're broadcasting, which today, I should say Saturday, you're going to be able to hear both games. 2:00 is the women's, 4:00 is going to be the men's game. And both of these teams are obviously getting ready for an NCAA tournament bid, because the women are now even in the bracket for a lot of projections as well. Yeah. So both teams are tremendous. They're going to be back at Spraggins on Thursday night, but on Saturday they're at Mississippi College.
Yeah, and while they get ready for that, they'll get ready for the phones, because we already got somebody ringing, and he'll probably call back here in a second. But we also want you to get ready for zone deals, because, of course, we have a lot of zone deals up for you over on Big Zone Deals. You can find it over on 977ESPN.com. But Full Moon Barbecue getting reloaded at 2 days, so definitely go check that out, as well as a new addition to the Zone Deals family, and that is Hickory Store Barbecue, which Joe.
Yes. No, yesterday, Tom was at Hickory Store Barbecue in Monrovia. And look, this place is absolutely fantastic. I know it is, because I requested food from both Baby A and Tom, and neither one of them brought it back, because they all devoured it with all the amount of food that they were given yesterday afternoon while Tom was broadcasting for there. So I know how good this food is.
No, I destroyed this food, the sandwich that I got. It was pulled pork, typical pulled pork. You know, I always think back, and I feel like this is the standard. I think of Porky's up in Nashville. Remember Porky's?
Porky's.
Joe?
No, I know exactly where it's at.
I think they came out with a second one, Porky's 2.
No, that's a show. That's a movie.
Okay.
No, Porky's 2. Yeah, because that's the one that gave me trauma, because that's the one that had the snake coming up the toilet.
Yeah.
No.
That's
it's a totally different
standard
franchise.
For a pulled pork sandwich. All right, barbecue sandwich, amazing. All right, I go to Hickory Store. First off, it's kind of in the middle of a bunch of neighborhoods. Interesting little location. It is also the coolest looking building in all of this little area, even though we got probably some multi-million-dollar houses. I'm not 100% sure, but this little store is so cute, and I love the vibes of it. Cute. I walk inside, and I'm just like, I'm at home. I sit down outside because it's a wonderful day, a little bit rainy. It's okay, because they have the coverage over there at the Hickory Store Barbecue. I sit down, I get myself some chip fries. They're just normal French fries, but they're not normal. Why?
Dude, I'll
get him here in a second.
No, the phone lines are blowing up.
Jason, I'll get with you here in a second.
Exactly
Jason.
what we want. 256-576-4977.
Yeah. But the Hickory Store Barbecue, like I was saying, I had this sandwich. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. But I really got to say that the French fries were the huge selling point, Joe. You got to get over
fries.
French fries, they weren't typical. They were kind of like steak fries, except for they were skinnier.
This is why you need me out there.
And I brought this up. Joe. You know how have you ever had a Reese's Thin before?
Yes, I have.
Do you think they are better than the original Reese's?
I'm not going to answer that,
because I do. And I think that those fries kind of hit that same exact taste.
This is the reason why Hickory Store Barbecue needed me out there, because I'm not going to sit there and talk about the fries. Okay. I'm not talking about the fries. We are going to be talking about the Super Bowl 59 coming up on Sunday. You'll be able to stop it.
Maybe some baby back ribs too.
Now, baby back ribs, that's a selling point.
See,
that's a selling point. You can also, and make sure, because if you're driving around and you're not going to be at home for the game, you can listen to it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as well. We are your home for Super Bowl 59.
Yes, we are. And we're also going to have to make our predictions today, Joe. This is the final day, the best day of the Blitz, because we get to make our predictions as well.
There are going to be predictions made.
Run over, of course, a bunch of the other stuff that we got going on, like the college basketball, as well as our conversation with Adam Dubbin in the second hour.
Yep.
Talking a little bit of Florida basketball as they look forward to facing off against the Auburn Tigers.
Daniel on WZZN TV wants to know about Hickory Barbecue, because he's like, can they cater the doubleheader happening today at UAH for UAH baseball? Yeah, so UAH baseball is playing Missouri St. Louis today. And it's so odd, because in college baseball, a lot of times if you're doing a series, it's just a 3-game series. But this weekend, UAH is hosting Missouri St. Louis for a 4-game series, which doesn't happen in college baseball a lot. Well, the game on Sunday has been moved up to today. So instead of a single game like we were supposed to be having, they moved it up. And now we have a double header that's going to be coming up basically right after the Blitz wraps us up. That's when I'm going to be heading over to Charger Park. And so I say all of that because, Daniel's right. We kind of would love have some hickory barbecue at Charger Park today.
Oh, no doubt about that. Yeah. I believe they do.
But dude,
they do.
Every time you open your mic, a phone rings.
Well, it's the third. Yeah, it's the third different guy.
So let's go ahead and get to the phone line.
Shall we? Yeah. So I think we should. We got Crawdad on with us first. Crawdad, how are you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to see you guys in the new move or succeeding well. I just have one quick little point that's kind of an oddity that never happened before in a Super Bowl, and that's the fact that West Point has a player on each roster. Did you guys know that?
Oh, I did not know that. We were too focused on the SEC players. Whose fault was that, Joe?
Well, because I was focused on the SEC players, and to be quite honest with you, I still don't understand the rules when it comes to an Army player and when they can and can't go to the NFL.
Yeah, that's true.
What are the rules on that, by the way? Help me out with that.
Help me out with it. They change it every year.
Okay, I'm not the only one's confused. I'm so glad about that because I felt bad. I'm like, wait a second, they can go to the NFL. I thought they had to become like, a recruiter or something like that to do it.
Well, again, every administration changes that. I don't think the Trump administration has weighed in yet, but on the Kansas City Chiefs, we have linebacker Cole Christensen, and on the Philadelphia Eagles, we have backup center Brett Toth. So, just kind of an unusual little thing. I don't think any of the networks will pick up on that. They primarily are taxi squad players, but I don't know. I just thought it was a pretty neat little fact, and I just wanted to share it with you guys.
No, Crawdad, that's amazing because it doesn't matter. One of these players is going to be bringing back a Super Bowl ring to Army. That is absolutely tremendous.
Well, Cole Christensen's already got 2 of them, so
there you
Good
go.
Heavens,
on the Chiefs.
He's gonna have a wing over at West Point.
Appreciate it, Crawdad. Good stuff from you, man. I like those little stories. That little information.
And I think that for me, the part about it is like what he says is I never understand what and how a player from a military academy can go. Now, if you're a civilian, like what we talked about with Phil Elkstam from the Havoc, like he went and played at a military academy as a civilian, but he wasn't at Army or Navy or, Air Force, one of those places.
Well, some of these hockey guys, over in Sweden and all of that, they have to serve 2 years in the military regardless.
No, you're not wrong. They are. And that's why a lot of times I'm sitting and I'm going, the Army Navy game, I see it as a big deal because automatically in my mind, I'm going, these guys are leaving and going directly to active service.
Automatically.
I don't think about, oh, wait, this guy could get drafted if he gets a waiver and he says that he'll be a recruiter in whatever city he becomes, he gets drafted in. Like, I never think about that because there's so many questionable things that go into him just trying to make it onto an NFL roster that I just never think that it's actually possible. So I appreciate Crawdad with helping us with that.
We appreciate all the callers because we will be getting into the phone lines quite a bit today, as it is a fun Friday, which means we will be having a very fun time. Not too wacky because we are going to stick to the sports, but we do need to hop into a break. Okay. Well, actually, no, let's slide in Jeff from the Borough. No, we're sliding in Jeff from the Borough. Okay. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Jeff, right.
He wasn't ready for that. I juked him out.
Jeff.
Maybe I want that 10-minute break.
No. It's usually 4.
I'm not going to 30-minute break.
Well, no, if we hit the break, then we'd have Drew on in the next segment, and we might not be able to get him.
We don't. He's already been on 2 hours. We don't want him on. I'm talking more Duke basketball. Who they playing tonight? Bowdoin University from
Oh wait, no, hold on. Let me look real fast. No, Alabama's going to.
There's nobody.
Wait, no, they're playing Arkansas tomorrow. Do you know anything about that team? Head coach, maybe.
Yeah, he's a great head coach.
Okay,
he knows
he's
that.
a Hall of Famer. Something like Bruce Pearl ain't. Bruce Pearl ain't won no championships either. He's got a national championship ring. Bruce Pearl, he got Division II, and that's probably worth about $1. And Kyle Perry's worth about 10,000, so or 100,000. That's no Division II ring nobody cares about. Southern Indiana, but they're Division I now. See, they ain't Division II no more. They're the OVC now. They're Division I school. They ain't Division II no more. They're not like UAH that don't have football or they still have a hockey program. They
No, they don't.
This is what I call punching down.
They couldn't afford hockey sticks. Is that why they give it up? They couldn't afford pucks.
No, it's actually just more about the fact that literally nobody within like 600 miles of the universe.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that.
Like Kentucky basketball, nobody cares.
Well, no, but now nobody cares. We got eight big banners, so we'll be back, son. We ain't gonna be down long. So y'all enjoy y'all's little jungle over in Auburn. See if y'all. I heard Bruce Pearl. Well, his name's up for the Indiana job. You think he'll take it?
No, he's not gonna take it.
Think he'll go to Indiana?
Why would he want to go there? He's got literally everything he wants.
They said that's what John Badman says. Said he'd be a candidate for. Did they call him up? Him and Scott Drew and
he would be. Well, I mean, he is the number one. He's the coach of the number one team in the nation. You should obviously call him.
No, I'm not saying he's Southern Indiana before. That's why.
No, he's also the head coach of the number one team in the country, and that's why you would consider that.
But that don't mean it. I mean, it don't mean that we got a tournament. That don't Pro Bowls don't mean nothing. So we got tournaments to figure all that out. It's like high school. We don't need rankings. We got tournament to figure that out. We don't need rankings. That's bullshit.
All right.
Peace out. Number one.
See you, Jeff. We appreciate that.
I'm sorry. He knows. Maybe he doesn't know. Look. I love the callers, and we love to have them on here. But sometimes when we're moving, we don't have everything set up. Why don't we have you? Why aren't you set up yet? We're taking a break off of that. When we get back, Drew DeArmond from Talking Ball is going to be joining us.
Welcome to Friday, everybody.
We love it, baby. Wait. Watch this on stream.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the Big Zone Deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, an overnight stay at Gunnersville State Park, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Scattered showers expected for this Friday. Otherwise, we'll sit under a mostly cloudy sky. High temperatures warming into the low 60s for the afternoon. Heading into our Friday night, we'll keep a few showers in the forecast, mainly before midnight. We'll start to dry out after. Otherwise, you can expect to continue to sit under a mostly cloudy sky with low temperatures falling into the mid and upper 50s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The
Doesn't
Zone.
anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Let's see if the next hour and 45 minutes is like the first 15 minutes. Welcome back in to the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Drew DeArmond's about to be joining us in just a second. And for everybody it's not just WZZN TV that you could have heard what Jeff said. Everybody on the radio that's listening on 97.7 ESPN The Zone or the app. No, yeah, I'm just saying. Hold up, do I got the wrong mic up?
There we go. I think I'm 3.
Yeah, you're 3.
I think so.
Yeah, no, you're 3.
Setup.
Still figuring it
that
all
out. Yeah, we did.
2 made sense.
Who would have? Hey, we've been talking about prop bets all week on this station. Who would have thought that Jeff would be the first one to cuss and not me?
I think that was actually near the top of the list.
It probably wasn't like a plus 500, but I would have said plus 250 maybe on that. But no, and look, that's the thing. I'll debate with him all day long. We didn't drop the phone call because he was annoying. We dropped the phone call because we had to.
Because we don't like the FCC.
Yeah, and we don't like them finding us. So
we don't want to.
The other part's true as well.
We're just here so we don't get fined. We've
Yeah.
been quoting Marshawn all week.
Yeah, so
maybe taking callers probably isn't the best thing,
But hey, y'all were blowing up, man. I'm in the other room, in the green room. You guys are just, the phone's ringing off the hook.
Yeah. Maybe it's just sabotage. That's what they just want to do.
I was texting everybody, the higher ups, and I just said, hey guys, I may want to expedite the dump button installation. Just wanted to let you know on that.
Well, our music has been on point for the themes, and you just said sabotage, so that is a Beastie Boys song.
It is a Beastie Boys song, Sabotage. That's right. I think John's trying to install it right now himself, as a matter of fact. He took himself off camera.
None of the buttons are glowing up. It looks like it's hooked up, but it's not.
No. It's a dummy device right now. Right now it looks like it works, but when you press everything, it is not working at the moment. I thought you were about to get back there and start trying to install it yourself.
I might just jump over this table. It's not like I'm not on the camera. Either way, we got a lot of conversation to get into with you, Drew, because, of course, it's a busy weekend in college basketball, whether we're looking around the country or whether we're looking in the SEC. Of course, that's where we're going to go with it. Talk about some of these tantalizing matchups that you're really keeping an eye on. Is, of course, the one we're keeping an eye on is going to be that Alabama-Arkansas game.
Well, yeah, we talked to Curtis Wilkerson of Inside Arkansas, and in the last 7 days, it's totally flipped. The Hogs were thought to be dead in the water in the bottom third of the league. And, as Curtis told us, I think their odds for getting into the NCAA tournament were 1%. Now they've won in Rupp Arena. They've won at Texas in the Moody Center, and they're going to have a sellout crowd that's rocking. And, they lost their best player, their best prospect, Boogie Fland, but it's almost got John L. Davis now in a better place. Adu Thero is playing much better. The key, the X factor is kind of Jonas Adu, because he didn't play much in the last game. He's kind of been banged up. Alabama was hopefully going to get Darion Reed and LeBaron Philon healthier after this week off. They're a lot deeper than Arkansas, but it comes down to playmaking and shot making. In the last 2 games, Arkansas has shot it. They have not shot it very well up to that point, though. And so it's going to be very interesting to see, because the funny thing is, Alabama has been better on the road than at home. I was at the Alabama-Georgia game this past Saturday. They started slow. If it wasn't for Aiden Sherrill, the true freshman, coming off the bench, hitting 2 threes, scoring 8 points, I think 10 in the half, I'm not sure they would have had the kind of lead over Georgia that they needed to have, because they had way too many live ball turnovers. If they turn it over like that against Arkansas, it's going to be a hornet's nest. But if Alabama takes care of the basketball, if they rebound with a vengeance, if they come out with great energy, they're better than Arkansas. I think they should still win the game. That's a very difficult place to play, and Coach Cal will have his guys ready. But I just think the matchup is still a good one for Alabama, but it's a mindset thing. They've got to understand what they're going into. Arkansas now is back into the conversation. I think as many as 13 or 14 teams are in the conversation. Really, there's probably only 2 in the entire Southeastern Conference that have no shot right now, and that's South Carolina and LSU. Everybody else has a chance. So you got to have your mind right and understand while Calipari may, some people say that he hasn't, adapted and changed enough, he's still got dudes. He's still got pros. Alabama has more, but you have to go out and earn it and play well. And again, that Auburn game is looming. You guys talked about it on your show this week. It's looming a week from Saturday, but you got 2 games. You got to play at Arkansas, and then you got to go to the Moody Center and play Texas. Auburn's also got an interesting one at Florida at home, and Florida handled Auburn last year on the road as far as when Auburn went to the O'Connell Center. But this is going to be in Auburn. They're very, very tough in Neville Arena. But if Walter Clayton is back, Florida has the size and the firepower to play with Auburn, much like Tennessee did. And then you have the tricky road trip to Nashville, as you know, your old stomping grounds, Joe. When Vandy is good, they're very tough at home, and they have already beaten Kentucky and Tennessee in Memorial Gym.
Yeah, in the Walter Clayton part of this, and the fact that you don't know what he's going to do because of the ankle, that's the big thing. But it's also something that we're sitting and thinking, because I don't want Alabama or Auburn to overlook these games this weekend, mainly because Arkansas is playing better, Florida's playing better, but also because I do want that Alabama.
Yeah,
Auburn
we want
game
1
to be
versus
so
3. It's going to be College game day there, and it would be the biggest game in the country, and it's probably the first time they'd ever be playing each other that highly ranked. You want them to hold serve, but both of them have to step it up and win. And Alabama needs to do so, because you're trying to stay on Auburn's heels. Right now, Auburn is undefeated in this league, the best league in the country, and they're trying to, if say, for example, if you drop a game or 2, Auburn can start to separate. So you've got to keep them in the rear view mirror if you're going to get them inside Coleman Coliseum with a chance to give them maybe their first loss in the SEC, depending on how the next week goes.
Well, and it's not just this Alabama and Auburn. What about whenever you are talking about Tennessee playing the other night? They were behind against Mizzou at home. They came back and
great
won as
second
well.
half.
Fantastic second half. I mean, those were this, but this conference altogether, when we're sitting here and you just mentioned it, I mean, Arkansas is back in the conversation, and they're at the moment, if we're going into Nashville, what is it? They're like an 11 seed in the tournament. I mean, maybe a 12 seed in the SEC basketball tournament. They're that low down right now, but this is a massive matchup on Saturday because of how well they've played the last 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean, the SEC is so insane right now. We talked about this earlier in a mock bracket. Kentucky would be playing on Wednesday. I mean, that's how crazy it is, because if you're not in the top 8 seeds, you're going to be playing. There's going to be some really high quality opponents. And in this league, if you're getting 12, 13, 14 teams, this newly expanded SEC, that Wednesday is now 4 games. It takes on a completely different tenor, because you're going to see some much better teams. Instead of, we always used to call it kind of the sad sack Wednesday, because these are teams that are just playing for their lives. They're playing that, you lose and you're done for the year. Now that's not so much the case with the depth of this league. And so we'll see. And then Alabama's trying to stay on the 1 line. Hell, Florida's still in big time contention for a 1. And if you win at Auburn, that's a huge feather in your cap. So now Arkansas is on the bubble now, and that's where you want to be. They're starting to get toward the right side of the bubble. So that's why Alabama has to be ready for them. And I just think it's going to come down to Alabama being able to protect the basketball, because I'm sure Arkansas is going to try to pressure a little bit. They've got to win the battle on the glass. And if they do, that'll lead to, I think, some second and third opportunities, maybe some kick out threes that could be very beneficial. And then I just think they need to use their depth. They have 10 guys, depending on the health of Darion Reed and LeBaron Philon. They should be rested, ready to go. And to me, sometimes I just think you ought to, with Arkansas, they've been playing good defense, but then sometimes that's the way you kind of I think flip the script. Alabama needs to pressure. Alabama needs to get up in the grill of Arkansas and make things hard on them and see how they respond, because they certainly came out ready to go against Kentucky. And I thought they really dominated the game against Texas. And that's a credit to them. I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, can they come back down? I mean, they put so much emotion into the Kentucky game. How are they going to respond against the Longhorns? And they really responded. So I'm expecting them to have their best version of themselves ready to roll against Alabama. And so Alabama's going to have to match their intensity and come out and execute. And if Alabama does, and I think that, the turnovers are going to be the thing to watch. If Alabama can can keep the turnovers to the low teens, maybe 13, 14, or even less. If you're talking about 10, 11, 12, I think that means they're going to have a ton of possessions. And I think they can score. I said before this, if they score 85 plus in Bud Walton Arena, they're going to win. They've got to push the pace. They've got to control the pace, because I think John Calipari, he wants the game to be in the 70s to win the game.
I'm actually sitting here right now, and as you've been talking, because you mentioned this, I think this is going to be the highest ranked that Alabama and Auburn will be if they both get through the next two games and playing each other. And it's crazy because I thought like they've had to play each other where both were like a top 5 or something like that. No, that's never happened. Like,
I don't think so.
This isn't the first time that game day is going to be at Auburn for an Alabama-Auburn basketball game, because they were there on February 11th in 2023, because Alabama was ranked 3 in the country. Auburn wasn't. And so that doesn't matter for that. So, yeah, if they both get through the next 2 games, this will be the highest rank that either team has been whenever facing each other in the season. Yeah,
this will be like one of those vintage Duke Carolina games, except it'll be great for the state of Alabama. Yep. And there's so much good college basketball going on in Alabama right now. Look at UAH setting the wins record last night for consecutive wins in a season, and then grinding out that win over Delta State. Now they're headed to Mississippi College. We know what Bucky McMillan's doing at Samford. We know what Troy and South Alabama are doing this year. Jacksonville State. It's just a great time to be a fan of college hoops in our state and high school basketball. And I know you were calling some high school basketball last night.
Well, and with that, yeah, we were over at Huntsville High School. The area tournament started over there. You had Alabama, or I should say you had Huntsville, and Huntsville beat Grissom last night. After that, Albertville beat Sparkman last night. And I mean, this Huntsville basketball team, it's wild that they played so well that they did, with the Auburn commit Simon Walker still being on the sidelines, and he wasn't even available last night.
Yeah, he did not play last night due to injury, and we'll see. I don't think he's going to be available for the area tournament, but you never know. But Huntsville, they've been without him before this year. He had a hamstring issue earlier in the season, and Huntsville certainly continued that. They beat some really high level opponents over including Bluefield and from Charlottesville, Virginia. They won 49-48 without Simon over in Knoxville when he pulled his hammy. And so he was able to get better. And so Huntsville's been able to continue to evolve, and guys stepped up. I thought Eli Stapler was nails last night. He had 16 points. Thought he was going to get in the 20s the way he was shooting the basketball.
He had 8 in the first quarter.
Right. And then they went with a bigger lineup. They went with what I've nicknamed him the Big Mule, Evan Toms, number 34. He's a sophomore. Old school big, a guy that'll kick you in the teeth, a big time post game. You're able to play, Josh Bowman at almost a stretch 4, where he can play on the perimeter a little bit. Good passer. Josh didn't have a big time offensive game last night, but he's certainly capable. Going to be headed to Chattanooga. But I thought one of the biggest storylines was the beginning of the game. Braden Rivers, he's named area MVP, by the way. Shout out to Braden, UNC Asheville commitment. He goes baseline to dunk the ball the first play of the game. I thought that set the tone for Huntsville being ready to go. And then he ends up with 6. But J.D. Gossett's pressure last night, getting in the passing lanes, disrupting. Javon Alexander had a really nice career for Grissom. He ends up with 9 turnovers last night, and I believe they held him to 3 points. And so Huntsville did a really nice job defending him. And JD had 17. Evan had a game high 19, but 17 for JD, and that 17 points put him over 1,000 points. He now and Simon Walker over 1,000 points in their Crimson Panther careers. Braden Rivers closing in on that. But again, shout out to JD. Probably one of my all-time favorites, a guy that competes so well. And his defense last night, his ball pressure just really disrupted Grissom and wouldn't allow them to get into any kind of rhythm.
Heck, you talked about his 17 points. I think 15 of them just came off turnovers.
Right.
I mean, he continued to get steals on it. And you mentioned Braden Rivers, and it was crazy for me because this kind of goes back to like what Coach Swears coaches and how Coach Swear coaches, is because at the end of that, Braden, again, you said he only finished with 6. He was really upset with himself for only finishing with 6, even though Defensively, he was amazing.
Yes.
He had a massive block in that game as well. That was beautiful.
Trailing. I mean, just great hustle.
And it was, he played well defensively. He was getting turnovers and all that. But obviously what a lot of people focus on are the points. He gets named the most valuable player for the area. He comes out, he gets the certificate naming him that. And as he was walking to the line, he's looking at his teammates shaking his head because he was still upset because he still didn't think he played well just about a few minutes before that, even though he played fantastically for a lot of it and continued to hustle, even though he wasn't making the points. I loved watching him play, even though he didn't play as well as he could have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought he did a really nice job, no question. And they now they're going to take on an Albertville team that they played twice in the regular season. They played really well against them, but I thought the Aggies, they had dropped their last game to Sparkman, who shot the lights out against them. But I thought they really took it to Sparkman last night. They moved the ball well. Yancey was really good inside. They were able to make some key threes. They have good guard play. They're older. And so I thought it was a good win. And it's the first time that they'll be going to Jacksonville State since Patrick Harding left. So that's big for Albertville. The community was very excited. And I know we were getting a lot of listens last night.
Oh, we absolutely were. And I bring that in. And the reason Drew brings that up is because obviously Brandon talked about it on the air, talking about the fight that happened last week between Albertville and Guntersville after the game. We saw that the AHSAA was looking at the video. They were going to, hand out suspensions and everything. So it was probably 3 or 4 minutes before the broadcast. We were still trying to figure out if anybody got suspended. So we go on the air and I'm like, okay, somebody has to be suspended. Like we were just saying, they have a player or two suspended. We never named names or anything, but we're sitting here going, look, we've all seen the video. I mean, everybody, we thought there had to be some sort of a suspension, but then we had some Albertville family members and fans that were watching in Albertville that weren't able to drive over to Huntsville last night. They got in contact with you. They got in contact with the guy keeping the book on the sidelines for Albertville. He comes up to us in the sidelines. He's like, hey, nobody for us got suspended. He said that they had the AHSAA had over 20 different camera angles of that fight that took place between Albertville and Guntersville, and Albertville and nobody on the team or the coaching staff ever threw a punch or anything, and none of those players got suspended for it. And watching that brawl and seeing all the stuff that took place in Guntersville after, it was amazing to me that nobody from Albertville did anything. That's what was shocking to me. So yeah, when they told me that nobody got suspended, I'm going, how? But it was because none of the players got goaded and fell into a trap of doing something after that game.
Well, it's a big rivalry. It's the longest running rivalry in the state. There's a lot of passion on both sides. There's no love lost. It was a big win for Guntersville because it was the first time in 2.5 years they had beaten Albertville. Albertville, won the Marshall County championship yet again. They've kind of dominated that ever since Patrick Harding was there. So it was an emotional one for them. But, Guntersville did win their area, so they've bounced back. So shout out to Brett Self and them for winning it. And now Albertville will go for a championship. You'll be on the call 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And then we'll also have another big one, 7A Area 8. But 2 upsets you could say happened there. Not huge upsets, but upsets nonetheless. Host Austin had a great regular season, ranked 6th in the state in 7A. They go down big to James Clemens on their home floor. James Clemens advances. And then Florence, a really good basketball team. This is one of the better matchups in the first round. Good team had to go home, but Bob Jones, defending now Huntsville City Classic champion, they go home 64-53 against Florence. So I just thought about this. It's pretty crazy. 3 of the top 4 in the Huntsville City Classic gone and didn't get out of area play.
Absolutely.
Because Grissom goes down to Huntsville, and then as Huntsville finished 3rd, the 2 finalists, Buckhorn, 2-time defending 6A champ, they go down to Mae Jemison in the first round of area play. They're done. And then we see Bob Jones go down. So you never know. A lot of good basketball around North Alabama, and you got to be ready to go in these one-and-done games, man.
Absolutely, especially the semifinals, because you make it to the finals, you at least are going to advance. But with the semifinals, you lose, you're done.
Yeah, and what Joe's saying is when you when you're in an area 1 through 6A, if you get to your area finals, the winner hosts the sub-regional, the loser travels. Like, for example, Mae Jemison, they lost their area final against Hazel Green. Hazel Green will host Hartselle And then Mae Jemison will travel to Muscle Shoals. In 7A, there is no sub-regional. There's not enough of them. So the winner gets the runner-up in the crossover area in the Sweet 16, and the loser has to play the champion. And then you're in the Sweet 16 automatically, and then you're in the Elite Eight if you win, and then you go to the Final Four. So it's a little bit different in 7A, but still a lot of great basketball. And we certainly are also rooting for our good friends. I'm sure they're listening again today over at Spring Garden. Spring Garden's ladies, they're going for a championship, for a sub-regional win to get to Jacksonville on Saturday. The boys are going for a win as well, and they're both having tremendous seasons.
The last 2 years I've been covering Buckhorn. This recent year I did not get to, so I've been a little bit out of the loop, but it's crazy to think that it's already that time.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely exciting for all of those kids as they push through to the playoffs. But we do have a caller that does want to talk with you, Drew. So we might as well get him on before
Jeff, right?
we get you off. No, he's banned for the rest of the week, which is the rest of today.
Literally next hour.
But it is Steeler Mike. Steeler Mike, how you doing?
What up, Mike?
What up, guys? Just want to let you know it's official. I'll be traveling to Pittsburgh for their home opener. The New York Yankees.
Cool.
Gonna fly out. I've got my poster board ready. It says, I've already drawn it up, "We miss you, Biden, through the Army."
I love it.
And we'll have it ready.
Bye, Joe.
Got to get a picture of that on the TV.
I just want to see it now.
Nice.
Get behind home plate.
Paul Skeens against the Yankees, man.
It's pretty cool.
I hope I see him because they got 2 games. They got 2 series before that. They'll throw him at home for sure against those. I'm going Friday and Saturday, so hopefully they'll throw him the opener. But if not, they'll probably throw him Saturday or Sunday.
Man, I saw that TikTok or whatever it was. What would you have done if you'd been the kid that got the 1-of-1 Paul Skeens like trading card? And he turned down, what was it? He turned down like lifetime season tickets, some crazy signed jerseys, everything.
He was literally given I think he was being given partnership of the Pirates. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I think he was about to be a partial owner.
Yeah, part owner of the Pirates. That would have been hilarious.
I'll tell you what I'd have been doing. There have been 5 words that came out of my mouth to my wife. Honey, we're moving to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they wanted to offer him the city.
Season tickets. 30 years of season tickets.
They probably would have given you your own suite.
Oh, my God. I would be in heaven watching a 4th place team every day.
Kid's got to get his leverage skills up.
Wow.
One more quick. Drew, did you watch Tennessee? Did you guys watch Tennessee, Missouri the other night?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I know they had a great second half. I was having dinner when it was going on, but I know they were down at halftime by about 6, but man, they housed them in the second half. And I thought that was huge win for Rick. I mean, they were giving him hell for the loss against Kentucky, but they bounced back. And look, man, that's how tough this league is. They've got 4 losses, and yet they're number 4 team in the country, right on the heels of Alabama and Auburn. So they're still right there.
Yeah, and it was frustrating to watch because at the end of the game, the Tennessee 5 that were on the floor at the end to close it out all shoot over 70% from the free throw line. And I'm like, this is great going down the stretch. And then Gainey starts blowing free throws. God, he drives me absolutely nuts, but it is what it is. But, guys, I appreciate it. Have a blessed weekend. Go Huntsville Panthers, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike and Drew. Thank you so much. Always courtesy of McCurry Motors and Alumni Hall. We got more phone calls when we come back as well. 256-576-4977 as we continue on the Blitz on this Friday in ESPN Winchester, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and WCCN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Win 4 categories against your Super Bowl opponent. You've gone 26-0, 24-1-1 against the spread. The 4 categories: rush for more yards than your opponent, have more yards per pass attempt, win the time of possession battle, and have fewer turnovers. You do those 4 things, you're winning the Super Bowl 26-0, 24-1-1 against the spread. The Chiefs, a consensus 1-point favorite over the Eagles across Las Vegas in Super Bowl 59. While outside of Las Vegas, at sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM, the Chiefs are the 1.5 favorite, the total 48.5. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage, with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Scattered showers going to remain in the forecast for this Friday night. We'll see mostly cloudy sky, low temperatures falling into the upper 50s for the overnight. Heading into the weekend, isolated showers possible for Saturday morning. We'll see partly sunshine for the rest of the day. High temperatures warming into the mid 70s, and heading into our Sunday, looks like we'll be staying dry. Partly sunshine, high temperatures warming into the upper 50s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
Into the free throw line. Shaney sends it out. Max Schulman for three. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We running this. Let's go. Chilling on a boat here on a fun Friday. On a boat. On the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, you know the deal.
Yes, and it'd be kind of cool to be on a boat right now, just heading up the river, just chilling out a little bit.
Yeah.
Possibly making sure that you had the app on, because as you just heard, we are the home of the UAH Chargers. And you're going to get UAH basketball tomorrow afternoon, 2:00. The ladies get going at 4:00. The men get going. Combined, the two teams have 49 wins this season just between the men's and women's team. Men has 21, ladies have 18, and both teams are playing absolutely tremendous. It didn't happen last night for the Huntsville Havoc, by the way, as that game was on WAFF 48-3. They took an L. After the first period, they were down 4-1. They came back, but they ended up losing that one, and they are going to now be playing tonight and tomorrow in Fayetteville to take on the Marksmen, which there's a few players on the team that kind of enjoy going up against their former team. So it's going to be fun there. But their next time that they are going to be on WAFF 48-3 is going to be Valentine's Day, because I know you're not doing anything of importance on that day.
You're not.
No,
apparently,
no,
guys,
I refuse.
apparently Joe hates Valentine's.
I hate it with a passion.
He hates it. Why is that? Because it is actually very sweet.
Well, no, because I just feel like there's 365 days in a year. You should be showing your spouse and the one you care about that you love them 365 days. You don't need a special day to do that.
Dude, you would not expect that this guy, if you saw him walking down the streets, and yes, he doesn't have any, I don't think he's got any tattoos. You haven't shown me.
No, because I want one, and I need somebody to help me design it.
I could see this guy walking down the street. You would never expect him to say that.
No.
You would never.
Well,
and that's why you can't judge a book by his cover,
Well,
even with his shorter mohawk.
No, I've got my mohawk has significant shrinkage. Are
you thinking about it a little bit more?
I was now after yesterday.
What are you doing
looking
to
at it?
compensate for that thing?
Look, man, I'm just trying to be a better man to compensate for my shrinkage and my small hawk.
Wow.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, sometimes you just have to let things go, and you have to let it grow as it can. All right, so I'm just gonna let the small hawk become a big hawk whenever it wants to do that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've just got to be able to adjust. It's, you know what I say every single day. My wife's pregnant right now, and we're doing everything we can. Baby's going to be due at the beginning of May. And I just look at her and she's like, I'm sorry, we weren't able to. It's like, hey, it's survive in advance. That's what every day is at this point in time. Same way with the hawk. All right. The hawk has shrunk a little bit. It's survive in advance until him. What I also love is right now, if you're watching on WZZN TV, the camera has zoomed in on John as he's taking the phone calls at 256-576-4977. But what I was saying before we got into the Valentine's is that, yes, the Havoc will be playing on WAFF 48-3 on Valentine's Day, as nothing says love like the Huntsville Havoc and the Knoxville Ice Bears, as that game is going to be taking place in Knoxville. I would absolutely love to be on the call for that. I mean, because again, I don't do anything on this day. I refuse to, even though I am the father of 2 children and a third is on the way. So I'm fathered to 2.5 kids right now.
That's because you don't just love on one day of the year.
No, you don't.
Regardless,
you love them every day of the year.
We do need to hop into the phone lines because we are about to hit the end of the hour break. And I do want to talk with this guy. It is one Mr. Wolverine Dan on the phone lines. How you doing, man?
You almost said it, man. You almost said it. That's okay.
I said it for a year.
Okay.
You. This is how you trick somebody into saying it for the rest of their lives.
Well, I don't think Joe has a problem with this, but, I just know he don't, because he's got a kid on the way. But, Joe, if I was just to turn on the radio and all I heard you say you had shrinkage, dude, I'd be feeling really sorry for you, Joe.
No, and you're right, because I didn't know that I had significant shrinkage, because I hit 40 and everybody kind of looks at you and is like, you're 40 years old. Like, what are you going to do? And then I go get this haircut and I was like, this haircut's good. I needed to. And
I was the one that noticed it.
You did. And then you're like, man, the hawk is shorter. And I'm going, the hawk is shrunk. Like my hawk looked like I just got out of the pool. Like, I don't know what happened to the hawk. It is so much smaller, as John's on the ground right now laughing. So yeah, I just got hit with significant shrinkage. I guess I just need to call Frank Thomas.
John's on the floor laughing because he's thinking the way I'm thinking. Dude, you got to stop, man. Stop.
After this hour, it will be over.
It will be. No, hopefully, look, I'm going to go and I'm going to work on this over the weekend, and hopefully I have an answer for you. There are pills I can take. I know that.
I have no problem with that, because Valentine's Day will be 38 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Wonderful.
You have the right to celebrate that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what, people? Listen, man. When you find that right person, hold on for dear life, man, and do whatever you got to do to make it happen, because It doesn't come around much these days anymore. Now that
No, it
these
doesn't.
young kids are on the dang cell phone instead of actually talking to each other, you
Exactly.
know, there's no romance, and man, dude, there's like nothing there. You know,
Nothing there
Yeah,
at
and
all.
thanks for that, Dan. We're up against the break. Second
The
hour
company
next.
is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. But did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's. America's original chicken finger restaurant is now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Ahead of tonight's gymnastics meet against LSU, here are thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Ashley Johnston.
And that's what we're working to drive towards this week, is to really come together as a united team, a united front, with the same mission in mind. And that is to start strong and handle the noise. That continues to be our message. And it's something that we want to get better at every single week. And we've grown a ton in that area. And there's still a few more steps that we need to make before we step into kind of the second part of the season that will take place a couple weeks from now.
I'll have more in a moment.
Founded in Haleyville, Alabama, Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers has been family owned and operated since 1965. Like their famous signature dipping sauce, Guthrie's has been imitated but never duplicated. Using the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe, Guthrie's is still serving the best chicken fingers in the world, just like you like them, fresh, hot, and fast. When you want the best, go to Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered this weekend for Alabama softball and basketball. The softball team starts play on Friday in the Kendrea Classic in Tucson, Arizona, with all games carried across the network in RolledTide.com and the Varsity Network app. Then on Saturday, men's basketball faces off against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coverage starts at 6:30 Central across the network. Then on Sunday, it's Alabama women's basketball at Mississippi State. Tip-off at 1, and our coverage from Starkville begins at 12:45 p.m. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, G-Bank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a G-Bank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/Gbank.
Win 4 categories against your Super Bowl opponent. You've gone 26-0, 24-1-1 against the spread. The 4 categories: rush for more yards than your opponent, have more yards per pass attempt, win the time of possession battle, and have fewer turnovers. You do those 4 things, you're winning the Super Bowl 26-0, 24-1-1 against the spread. The Chiefs, a consensus 1-point favorite over the Eagles across Las Vegas in Super Bowl 59. While outside of Las Vegas, at sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM, the Chiefs are the 1.5 favorite, the total 48.5. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Scattered showers expected for this Friday. Otherwise, we'll sit under a mostly cloudy sky. High temperatures warming into the low 60s for the afternoon. Heading into our Friday night, we'll keep a few showers in the forecast, mainly before midnight. We'll start to dry out after. Otherwise, you can expect to continue to sit under a mostly cloudy sky with low temperatures falling into the mid and upper 50s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. John Abraham. I am Joe Hunk. Phone lines are going to be open to you in about 20 minutes at 256-576-4977. I say that just because we're about to be talking a little bit more about that matchup down in Auburn between Florida and the Auburn Tigers. Don't forget that on Sunday, Super Bowl 59 is going to be on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So if you're going to be having to go out and do things because, you know, it's Sunday, you got to still do stuff. No, you don't. You can make sure that you have it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone because you'll be able to hear every single second of the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But the competition that we're talking about might be even better than that. And, of course, it's just another SEC game. And some would say that, but every single SEC game just seems a little bit more special than the last. And, of course, this week we get to see a top 10 matchup within the SEC on the Plains. And Florida's going to be coming to town, and who better to talk to it than Adam Dubbin from Gator Wire. Adam, how are you doing today, man?
Hey, good morning, y'all. Doing okay. Getting excited for this big game tomorrow.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Coming off of course, that big win against Vanderbilt. This one, of course, in I would say the swamp, but I don't think that's what they call it down there for the basketball side of things. But I mean, this team, it's weird. They are the sixth best in the country, and I feel like there's a lot less eyes on the Gators than I would say Alabama or Auburn. And, of course, for us, this is the area that we're in, but there's still a lot of eyes on Tennessee as well. But where do you think this Florida team truly ranks among the SEC when it comes down to it?
I think, honestly, that the rankings have it pretty spot on. I think we're a top 10 team, and we proved it with the way we beat down Tennessee in that one game. But the SEC has a great amount of parity this season. With 13 of the 16 teams are projected to go through the tournament, and some of the bracketologies. It's pretty insane. So this Florida team, this isn't quite the Billy Donovan, 06, 07 teams where there was just an immense amount of NBA talent just all stuck together.
Yeah.
This is, a lot of this, you've got to give credit to Todd Golden here, who has assembled a team mostly through the transfer portal. A lot of these guys that you see contributing, whether it's Will Richard or Clayton or, who have you, they all came from other teams. And only a few were, drafted. Not drafted, but recruited, like your Denzel Aberdeen. So this is a well-constructed team that is well-disciplined. It's well coached. There's a lot of things going right for it.
Yeah.
But we're not the best team. There's still a lot of headroom between us and being the best.
Yeah, and I think one of those things that kind of leads to being one of the best could be the physicality that the Gators do bring to the court. I remember that's kind of what they brought into that first matchup against Tennessee. That's when I think a lot of people really started to take notice of the Gators. And this was only the second game into the SEC play. Then, of course, they get through the Arkansas. They have to face off against the Mizzous. And you kind of get through this side of the schedule. But talk a little bit about that second half of the schedule and how, I mean, this is just going to get even more tough for the Gators.
Right. Well, the second half of the schedule, I mean, this is crunch time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got, 9 games left. Everybody is trying to make their case for the SEC tournament seedings and as well for the big dance. So, you're going to see the programs that have it in them step up. You're going to see a lot of these teams, coached by your Bruce Pearls and such, really switch into another gear. And we're hoping that the Gators can too. With Clayton going down with that injury and watching how the Gators responded on Tuesday night against Vanderbilt, it was, you could tell that depth is kind of an issue with us. So, one or two injuries could really tank this team because on that bench, there isn't a whole lot of experience ready to come off and fill in the blank. So it's, it's for the Gators, looking down the stretch, it's all about staying healthy, sticking to the plan, and trusting the system.
Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire is our guest talking all things Florida Gator hoops. Joe, what do you got for him?
Well, and you were talking about the staying healthy part on this, and you said, look, this is the biggest part of this. Now, with Walter Clayton, with Elijah Martin, do we know the status of what they may be tomorrow afternoon or anything like that?
There hasn't been any update. I would imagine that Golden would want to play this close to the vest, as closely as possible, to make it as tough on Pearl as he can to, make their game plan. So I'm sure there's a little cat and mouse being played here. ESPN reported prior to the Vandy game that he had been seen on campus walking without a boot. So, that projects a good prognosis. One could easily conclude that he sat during Vandy just to make sure that there was, no further structural damage. And it was the kind of game, I don't want to say Vandy was a write-off game because they're certainly not a write-off team. They've beaten Tennessee and Kentucky this year and proved that they could hang with us as well for a while there. But, I think that Golden was just getting him some time to heal before Auburn. I fully expect him to play. I can't really opine whether or not I believe he'll be 100% or not.
Now, if he's not 100%, what is Florida going to have to do? Because again, Auburn's a tough place to play. You're going to have game day. It's going, there's all this stuff that is going to be going on. And I say game day, and I can't remember if they're actually there or not. But you're going to have everything happening. But for this Florida team and going into this environment, what is Coach Golden going to have to do when they get there to make sure, hey, you keep your head in knowing that this is going to come out, these first 3 or 4 minutes is going to be hot?
Well, first of all, it goes back to one of the things I mentioned is physicality. The Gators are going to come out and they're going to bruise. They're going to put their bodies out there, and they're going to do everything they can to show Auburn they mean business and they're here to play. One of the things we often see with Clayton that, all eyes will be on is, in the earlier minutes, it's pretty common for him to drop a few quick points to get the Gators offense kick-started. Often with one of those trademark, 3-pointers where he barely jumps off the floor, but just drains it. Whether or not he can come out strong and give the Gators that spark that they normally expect will be important. But don't forget that you've got Martin and Richard as well, the other two heads of the three-headed dog in the backcourt, who can easily, catch fire and drop a whole lot of points really quickly. But on the other end, what's important is, what I've noticed the most is that Florida tends to shrink a little bit when the other team starts raining threes and makes them. So if Auburn gets out there and starts making their early threes, there will be some issues for Florida as far as, I don't know, the psychology of what's going on.
Yeah. So get out quick and also play physical is the way that this Florida Gators team can definitely get a chance in this one. Of course, on the Plains and Auburn, I mean, they've got themselves a few good players. I would say one of them might be one of the best in the country in Jonai Broom. How does this team go about stopping a man like him?
I mean, he's a big boy, and he's got a lot of skill and a lot of talent. You know, you don't stop guys like that. You just slow them down. So, you know, Florida's got a really nice front court. You know, he's got Condon, and he's got Sam Alexis. He's got some bodies out there who can, you know, who can at least keep him from being right under the rim. If they can keep him in the mid-range or, you know, 10 feet or more, really, that's where they'll get the most success defensively with him. But if he's, you know, crashing the boards and he's inside, he's catching that ball inside 10 feet on the block, you know, it's going to be a problem for Florida.
Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire joins us talking all things Gator. And why I say all things, because I didn't tell you this, but I'm pretty sure you are aware that there's baseball season right around the corner. I mean, on the 14th. You know,
See, Valentine's Day.
A lot of people.
That's what Valentine's Day is for.
A lot of people would be hanging out with their
Opening
women,
day.
but I think we're going to be hanging out watching some TV. Talk a little bit about this Gators baseball team going into 2025.
So, you know, we don't really have any big star names like we have in the past few years. Like, there's no Caglione here. There's no Wyatt Langford. But you know, Pierce Coppola is a pitcher who could be a breakout player that you'll want to keep an eye on. This is a team that, you know, I believe that it's a top 10 team, like the rankings have them in the preseason. But, you know, we saw last year that, you know, it's a long baseball season, and really it's all about getting to the postseason. And Florida barely squeaked in, if you remember.
Yeah.
You may not, you probably didn't pay attention, but they barely squeaked in and still made it pretty far. So, you know, it's going to be another one of those Kevin O'Sullivan specials, I think, where we see him, you know, his master class of coaching. But you know, I don't think we're going to be the top player in the SEC. There's definitely a lot of other teams that are going to have the spotlight on them. But for Florida, you know, I feel confident that we're going to do well enough that we'll make some waves and we'll get it to the postseason, maybe host a regional. And, you know, from there, it's all a crapshoot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no,
it truly is.
So, and the funny thing is, and Adam, I know you don't know this, is I'm a baseball nut on this. And matter of fact, right when this show ends, I've actually got a double header that I'm going to, because here locally, the Division II program UAH has started their season already. They're like 4 games deep, and they're starting their season now. So, no, what you're talking about especially with Caglione and with what this Florida team did. Oh, I was absolutely paying attention. So, but what does this mean for somebody like a Colby Shelton, who now comes back as the team's leading home run hitter?
Well, you know, Shelton, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He definitely is the marquee name on offense. And, you know, Florida's pitching staff should be good. But, you know, this is, you know, in college baseball, you got to score runs. You know, this isn't the majors where you get the 3-2 games, the 2-1 games that often. Usually you're looking at 8-6 games, 11-9. Yeah. You know, so you know the Gators are going to need to put runs on the board, and so there'll be a lot on him. Can he step up? You know, that's a lot to ask for of a 21 or 22-year-old, 21, 22, 23-year-old young man. But you know, this is the forge in which legends are cast.
Yeah.
So you know, this is he's got to do it, or he doesn't, or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, you know, O'Sullivan will find somebody who will.
No doubt about that. And of course, I mean, we've seen plenty of teams throughout the NIL, throughout the transfer portal. I mean, it's a lot of times you have to really figure out who those playmakers are almost every single season. And Joe, what do you got?
And you talked about the pitching staff, and I was looking and I was seeing like it's so uncharacteristic for this Florida team to have kind of the season that they did on the mound and having like one of the worst ERAs in the league. How are they going to improve that going into this season when, yes, you're talking about arguably this is almost like you're playing in AA baseball just by playing in the SEC.
Funny you say that, and we are all kindred spirits here because baseball is actually my primary writing.
Oh, see, now we're doing
and I wrote about the Tigers right before I came on the air, Detroit Tigers. So you know, we talk about the pitching, and we talk about what is going to happen. There's, and fortunately in college sports, you always have a fresh crop of new guys coming. And, there's a lot of guys from South Florida, and one of my staff members at Gators Wire, he lives down there and he does high school scouting and such down there. And he's a little more knowledgeable than I, but he's always telling me that, we've got a really good crop of youngsters coming up. And so I think that we're going to see some of these true freshmen get some playing time, especially in the non-conference portion of the schedule. And then, and really, if O'Sullivan's past behaviors are a prediction of the future, he uses what he sees in the non-conference portion of the schedule to build what he does against his conference opponents. So it's sort of a to be decided type of situation there.
Great stuff as always from Adam Dubbin. And before we get you out of here, it's kind of weird for me to say this, but is SEC baseball and SEC basketball right now, is it going to be a little bit more competitive or more at the top of, I would say, the leaderboards compared to what we've seen from football? I mean, is this something we're going to see going into this season?
I mean, it just means more, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, it's, as a longtime fan of the Florida Gators and, an SEC fan as a whole, I mean, it's really great to see the conference, excel at more than just football, excelling at all three big three sports. And, as far as like viewership, obviously football is always king, basketball is second banana, and baseball, you think that people would love the national pastime more, but unfortunately that's, usually the redheaded stepchild. But either way, it all, altogether, it's great to have a full year of sports to follow, where you're dealing with nothing but superlative athletes and superlative coaching and just great play. Like this is what being a sports fan is all about.
No doubt.
Adam and I, and as we let you go, and I don't know if you agree or what you think, but I mean, I've argued with numerous people that as much as we love college football and we talk about how great basketball is becoming, that college baseball has been the SEC's best sport, hands down, for almost over a decade, with the amount of talent that they have been seeing year in and year out. Look, it's and because again, this is your main sport. The tournament in Hoover is basically the College World Series. I mean, that is the best amount of talent you will see in one place in an entire season.
I mean, it's better than watching minor league baseball.
No, it is. It absolutely is. A week down in Hoover is really fun when you see all the talent that you'll see, and I guarantee you'll see one of those guys probably in the next year making a debut in the major
no
leagues.
doubt. And it's huge too, because you do get to see some of those big names. Of course, Paul Skeens, he made his name, of course, within the SEC, playing at LSU, and it really just happened in the span of a season. And now look at what he's doing. He's one of the faces of the MLB.
And if I can add something, this is also an item of contention that I have with a lot of my peers, but there's a general consensus that the level of SEC baseball is somewhere around the high A or low double A quality, depending on, so if we're talking about, Florida or Tennessee, LSU, we're talking about low to, of double A.
Mm-hmm.
And even, the worst teams are going to be, high A ball.
Yeah.
So this is good competition, and it's just harkening back to what we're all saying here. It's wonderful to see baseball get its due, and we're all going to be watching with bated breath the entire spring, aren't we?
Oh, no. Again, I literally, I told people the other day, I said, look, I know you guys asked me a lot about basketball, and heck, we got you on to talk basketball. But for me, I go straight from college football and the NFL. And then, I mean, like we just said, baseball starts in February 14th for you guys. It's already started here locally. I'm on my fifth broadcast coming up tonight. And so, no, I mean, that's really kind of how it is. And to add to it, what you were talking about with the double A, before we let you go, Christian Moore, who obviously played for Tennessee, he's playing now here in Huntsville as he finished the season with the Trash Pandas double A. And when he came up, he was on fire because, I mean, he's basically seeing this competition all year long. And so it kind of plays into what you're saying about the level of competition in the SEC.
We got to get more NBA, MLB fans watching college baseball, I think.
I very much agree.
I'm with you.
To me, it's a lot more fun. I just have to say that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not right. But either way, Adam, great competition, great conversation from you as always. Let the people know where they can find you over on social media and online.
Yeah, you can just find me the @ symbol and my full name, Adam Dubbin, ADAMDUBBIN, and you can find me on Twitter or Blue Sky. Those are where I spend most of my time. And you can also find me at my publication, Gators Wire, USA Today. We'll be covering college baseball closely, and we'll also be covering tomorrow's game against the Auburn Tigers. So if you're looking for a little bit of extra information, some good coverage, please log in and check us out.
Adam, always great, man. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful weekend, brother.
Hey, you all too. Take care.
Thanks.
Good stuff, Adam Dubbin. Make sure you check him out for all things Gator, and I guess some MLB stuff too. Because I mean, Detroit. I mean, he was already speaking to the Wolverine Dan right there.
I mean, it was the very moment you asked the question that he says, "Hey, yeah, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but baseball is my primary focus." I'm like, "Well, we're done with basketball."
Well, that's what I have. You got to keep the talent happy.
No, it's just that's the time of year. Again, I mean, like right when I leave here, I'm heading straight to UAH. So when we come back, I actually, if you've not heard about what we were talking about with Drew about Paul Skeens, and obviously just got mentioned again, here is when we come back, I have the list of everything that this 11-year-old turned down to keep this Paul Skeens 1-of-1 card as we keep going on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WCCN TV.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage, with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom ma. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Hello and welcome back in to the Morning Blitz. Just dang it. I did it again. I'm slipping, Joe. Probably because we had to change the name.
We didn't have to. We felt that it was a cool thing to do.
Just the Blitz.
Just trying to be cool, man.
Either way, on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV. Go and subscribe to that bad boys. We have a whole lot of lore that goes on within the Blitz. What would it be? The Blitz Metaverse? And, of course, we have the playlist, so you can go all the way back to when it was the afternoon Blitz. I mean, you can go all the way back.
Again,
if you really wanted to.
Look, you keep moving places, and so, trying to put a day part on the name just doesn't work.
The Nightly Blitz.
So, exactly. I mean, it'll be the Midnight Blitz, and then it'll be the 1 a.m. Blitz.
If they gave me the okay to have a midnight programming, I'd only do it on the weekend.
You'll be by yourself.
I'm fine with that. I would
by yourself.
I could get somebody to come and do it for free, honestly, with me. All right. Maybe I'll get Crawdad to help me out. He'd do a midnight blitz.
I mean, I'm sure he would.
Sounds like something I did back in college, if I'm being honest.
No,
But either way,
that's literally 90% of what a lot of college kids are going to be doing is a midnight blitz.
this show, as always, presented by the wonderful people at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in. Joe, you had some fun little stuff to talk about.
Well, it's before we get into more Super Bowl conversation about what's happening is he's been brought up a few times, and as the Paul Skeens baseball card, the one of one that was released, an 11-year-old boy was the one that actually pulled the card out of a pack. And so what the Pirates did, because they wanted the card.
It's a one of one. Remember, there's only one of one.
And it's a Paul Skeens MLB debut card. So it's like a very special and rare card in the baseball trading, card trading world.
Some would say it's more important than a man's first home run ball.
It may be.
It
absolutely could be. So the Pirates said, hey, look, you pulled this card. We would like this card. So here is what we are going to offer you. And so they tried a couple of apparently some other offers. And then they said, okay, here is our final offer. And only thing they didn't offer, I think, was the naming rights to the team, because they offered this kid everything that they possibly could.
Take the money, take the fun stuff. Come on.
He gets a meet and greet experience with Paul Skeens.
Okay, that's not worth it.
Well, I mean, he's a cool guy.
It's cool. You could get some stuff signed.
Dad would probably like it if Paul Skeens' girlfriend was there. Spring training experience at Pirate City in Bradenton, Florida. So you would go down to spring training with the team. You would get 2 autographed Skeen jerseys.
I mean, that already could in a few years pay for what the card's going to be. No, it's not going to. It's not going to.
You were also going to be given the opportunity to have a softball game at PNC Park for 30 people. That'd be difficult for me.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know 30 people I like.
I have the Pinky Out baseball game every year. If I pulled that card, maybe that's what I'll do next year. I will make sure I pull as many rookie cards as I can, just so a team will offer me their stadium just so I can play the Pinky Out baseball game.
We are literally affiliated with the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
I worked with them. They're cool with me. I still don't think I might be able to. Should I ask them? Because I've never even asked them.
Oh my heaven. You haven't even asked?
Ricky!
I mean, right now, if you go out and you help build whatever they need to build to make sure that they can keep the team, I'm sure they might let you play a game on the field.
Ricky, hit me up. You know where to find me.
Now, the last thing, and this is the one that I think is absolutely amazing, but I have a question for it as well.
Okay.
They offered this 11-year-old 30 years of season tickets behind home plate.
He'd be
at PNC
41
Park.
by the end of this.
He would be 41 years old. Now, the question is, in those 30 years that he was given free season tickets, do you think the Pittsburgh Pirates would host a World Series game in those 30 years?
Ooh, host it. Well, I mean, they'd have to.
No, because look, I mean, this is 2024.
Go.
In the last 30 years, the Pittsburgh Pirates have not even
hosted
hosted an NLCS because the last time they were there, Barry Bonds was trying to throw Sid Bream out rounding third.
It's just tough. This is tough because I normally wouldn't say it, but with all the hype around Paul Skeens and the money that's being thrown around the MLB right now, I think there could be a possibility.
Heck, that probably plays worse into it. The fact that all this money's getting thrown around and Pittsburgh can't pay for this stuff.
I mean, they're not LA. They're not the same market as New York, but I mean, still, they're pretty close.
I mean, the very moment, I'm pretty sure LA's probably offered like a 6-year-old, a 7-year, $450 million deal right now, just because, look, I'm telling you, if you show out in the Little League World Series, watch out. Dodgers may be calling.
They're spawn killing. But I will say this, the Pirates should win one in the next 30 years.
The last World Series they won was 1979.
Yeah.
Which is also the last pennant. Do you know how long ago 1979 was?
40 years ago.
45.
45
years
Said
ago.
that first try.
So yeah, 45 years ago.
Jeez.
So do you think that this kid, because he gets free tickets, which I would assume would also mean he gets free tickets to playoff games, would he watch a World Series game in PNC Park?
Yes.
Between the Pirates and another team, not, we're showing the game on the Jumbotron.
I say yes, because I don't think there's going to be another 30 years that pass. I don't think we're going to add on to the 45 already. I think that the Pirates could win one. I do.
In 30 years.
In the span of 30 years, yes.
I'll be straight. I probably would love to play as the Pirates on MLB The Show when it comes out, just because it's that team that you get just to try to rebuild.
Yeah.
Kind of would. Until they get something other than Paul Skeens.
Yeah. Well, I haven't focused on a lot of baseball unless it was college baseball.
Look, the last time that this Pirates team made the playoffs was 2015, and they got eliminated pretty quickly. Now, some of the players, Pedro Alvarez was on that team, which was absolutely Kean Buxton was really part of that team. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Blanco was on those teams. This team was a really good offensive team.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Burnett was still pitching. That's the team that also still had Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Mark Melanson was a part of the bullpen. That's when he became big. Hey, Charlie Morton was on that team, so they made the playoffs. Because that's what Charlie Morton teams do, is they make the playoffs because Charlie Morton's on the team. So that was probably the best team that Pirates team has probably had since the Barry Bonds team.
Well, then good luck. Either way, he kept the card. Okay. Give it 30 years. That card will be worth quite a bit unless Paul Skeens ends up flopping in his next few years. Regardless of that, you don't have to wait 30 years to get some good deals. Head over to our Big Zone Deals shop right now to start saving money on, of course, Full Moon Barbecue, Hickory Store Barbecue, and hey, we also got fun golf over at Cherokee Ridge and Gunter's Landing. So definitely take advantage of that as we segue on over to, of course, last night, the NFL honors. Joe, I turned the TV off as soon as I saw Snoop Dogg walk on stage wearing a Steelers jersey. I literally look at the highlight video on YouTube, Joe, and I get an Verizon ad that has Snoop Dogg. Then it takes me to the video. It's still Snoop Dogg. I am sick of seeing him everywhere. And also, he doesn't look good in a jersey. Maybe I'm a hater. And I hate the Steelers.
He doesn't look good in a jersy that's, with football pads on.
And then Jelly Roll decides to roll on up.
Look, Jelly Roll needs to be careful. I'm telling you right now, if he would have gotten down in a 3-point stance, the Titans might have signed him.
Maybe, honestly.
They need offensive line help. And if that man can pass block, I promise you the team will think about signing him. He's at every single game anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be the case, but no. And you know what? That part that you're talking about, I'm still trying to figure out, how did we miss the layup on Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
Well,
how did we miss the joke? The joke was right there.
Yeah.
It was so easy. Like, they made a joke about Bill Belichick's girlfriend, and I forgot what exactly they said about it with his was. Oh, I think
they were going
about how
back.
she hadn't been
back in
born
time,
yet.
yeah.
The last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl and the Chiefs sucked.
She's 24 years old, by the way.
Well, I mean, that's
73.
That's young.
He's
I mean,
73.
that's young. But you know,
I could date her.
They had the perfect opportunity. And I'm not saying I need to be a writer for him, but all I'm saying is all you had to do is just go out and you need to say, hey, guys, we appreciate everybody coming out tonight. There's a few minutes left in the show, or what Bill Belichick calls that, bedtime for his girlfriend. It was there.
And you know what?
It was there.
You're not on all the Verizon, Progressive, and all those other commercials, maybe even Build Submarine commercials, and maybe the General with its check.
Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is just say, hey, Bill Belichick, we've only got a few more minutes left. We're about to wrap this up. Bill Belichick's girlfriend has to get up. She's got school early in the morning. We got to make sure that all of these jokes were there.
They were
right there. And Bill loved it. Bill was laughing his little tail off.
As much as he can.
As much as he can, as he's probably sitting over there. Because look, as much as we make fun of it, that was a fantastic night for UNC. It was. Every time he's on camera.
Yep.
Every single time the man's on camera, it's all UNC and benefiting UNC.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's just got to be able to pull it on there. But no, the NFL honors took place. They were so. They were kind of over the top weird on this. Josh Allen won the MVP award.
And that makes sense, though. It does.
It absolutely makes sense.
Because this is the guy that if you take him away from the Bills, what is this team? You put a different guy like Tyler Huntley on the Ravens, though, and they still win some games. The Bills wouldn't have won any games without Josh Allen.
No, look, and if it is not for Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen is getting ready for the Super Bowl in that game. And look, this man has taken that step. It is now only an injury or so aside. It is only a matter of time before the Bills are back in the Super Bowl because of Josh Allen.
And then they lose.
Doesn't matter. They're back in the Super Bowl because of Josh Allen. So no, this is a major step for them and for him. He has taken that step in winning the MVP award. And plus, if we're talking about, he's literally dating Ghost Spider. Like, how cool does this guy have to get right now?
Pretty cool.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and if he did get to the Super Bowl, this Bills team, I feel like, would in fact beat any NFC team. There's no doubt, because I look at the Chiefs, and that is the kryptonite of course, Josh Allen. Now, we haven't had to see Josh Allen face off against NFC teams in said playoffs, but regardless of that, if the playoffs or if the Chiefs are the standard, if they are the top team, then I could safely say that the Bills would get it done against anybody else.
You also had 4 players with SEC ties get awards and or honors last night. Joe Burrow was named the comeback player of the year. Patrick Surtain, the second, was named defensive player of the year.
It's the only one that matters, actually.
Trust me, when it happened, I was like, hey, this is big news.
Huge.
Jaden Daniels is your offensive rookie of the year, and former South Carolina Gamecock Sterling Sharp was announced as a member of the Football Hall of Fame last night.
Yes.
So it was a very fun night, a big night. I know that not everybody is happy with some of the awards that were given out, but the Jaden Daniels part of this, for him to be named Offensive Rookie of the Year, that was a massive deal because, I mean, we knew and thought that he should get the award, but him getting it was, okay, now you're solidified as in Washington, you're making a lot better decisions and moving in a better direction.
You didn't already think this whenever he got the Zero Sugar Pepsi MVP award? You didn't already think that?
No, what I thought that it
doing?
may happen the very moment that he started picking up the nominees and you started seeing him get a little bit more love after he won the infamous award that we know as the Tums Flamethrower of the Year award for football players. And it was something that I was still questioning what might happen.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. We also got to see Eric Allen, Jared Allen, as well as Antonio Gates make it into the Hall of Fame. And I will say this. Antonio Gates well-deserved 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro.
Out of all those, that's
Yes.
the only one that you want to congratulate, not the fact that Jared Allen, who has come up with what was one of the coolest sack celebrations ever.
Look, I'm fine with Jared Allen being in, but if you're going to put Jared Allen in, then you need to put Luke Kunkley in as well, all right? And I get that he doesn't need to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but this guy was elite in his, 9 seasons that he played, maybe even less than that.
Look,
I
the
think
other
it's 10.
now the other part is looking at next year's class, which Drew Brees is a part of it. He is a shoe-in on this. I researched this again last night because I think it may have been you and I that were talking about this.
You and I, the University of Northern Illinois?
No, you, John Abraham, Joe Hunk.
Thank you.
Discussing
Spell it out.
Larry Fitzgerald, from everything that I have seen, has still not signed his retirement papers yet.
What the hell,
But
Larry?
the man's up for the Hall of Fame next year. He is not officially retired. Like, I've continued to look, and he said, hey, I'm never playing in the NFL again, but nobody has said the man has officially signed papers. I looked even this morning to try to figure out what was the date where he officially signed like the NFL retirement papers, and I still can't find this.
I don't know if he will ever. I really don't, because it's just straight up. He's like, he's not officially retired from football. But
No.
he hasn't played football since 2020.
Which is why he's eligible for this, but I'm pretty sure he's eligible next year, even though he is not quote unquote officially retired.
He said that he's not retiring, but rather moving on to the next chapter of his life.
Yeah, he's done Monday Night Football, Countdown. He's done all this stuff, but it's still one of those things like, hey guys, I'm kind of see that you had Juju Smith-Schuster kind of pull up with a hammy injury. I could be good for like 1 or 2 plays just so that I can get that ring.
Yeah, he's just driving by.
Like, I seriously feel like Larry Fitzgerald is that guy that he could just at some point in time, if the Cardinals somehow made it to the Super Bowl, he could be 60 years old. He could be on the call for like the Cardinals Sports Network, and he's gonna be like, we got a wide receiver go down. Hold on, let me just go ahead and get
Slide
ready.
into my pads.
Let me go get ready. Oh, look, man, as long as I get 1 catch for 10 yards, that's all that matters, because I'm just Mr. First down.
And he looks like Jerry Rice whenever he puts it on.
Oh, absolutely. From the commercials.
From the
Hey,
commercials.
guys.
You know exactly what I'm talking
Hey guys,
about.
I think we should come out of retirement. I think that's what we need to do is we need to come out of retirement.
Larry.
We just need to go in and make sure that I can pick me up that ring real fast.
Larry, you're 55. Just sit down, Larry, please.
Yeah, no, you're 50.
Family's worrying about you.
No. I got it. Goal line package. I'll do a quick out. You throw it to me. I'm going to make the catch. It's okay.
And he does it.
And he's going to get it. And then he
does
gets
it.
his ring. I truly feel like he still hasn't signed the papers.
He could sign with the Chiefs. He kind of looks like D-Hop.
No, he actually could sign with the Chiefs, but I think the other thing for him is he's very loyal to the Arizona Cardinals, and I think he wants it to be with Arizona.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Either way, let's take it to break. Because
Fine, we make these predictions.
We
By
got
the
some
way,
predictions.
when we come back, the line is out for Alabama, Florida State. The way too early lines.
Way too early.
Are out for Alabama, Florida State. We'll have that for when we continue on WZZN TV as well as 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Super Bowl 59 is on Westwood One.
Now the Chiefs are on the doorstep of history, going for a 3rd consecutive Super Bowl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Grant. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Devin McCourty, and me for all the action right here.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Covering Alabama, Auburn, and the Southeastern Conference is a year-round job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't worry, we've got you covered on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Little went up a few octaves on that one.
I'm going to let you sit on that one.
Yeah, coming up in a little over an hour, Tom Abraham show is going to be back again. As I want to say, I appreciate John Abraham for helping me out on this, because UAH kind of changed the baseball schedule around because it's supposed to be one game today, 2 games tomorrow, 1 game on Sunday, and they moved the Sunday game up today, and they made it a doubleheader, so they kind of moved up first pitch and everything.
Yeah.
So John is helping me out over there by going on with Tom today.
Well,
so I appreciate that.
I very much appreciate the listeners, whether they've been listening for 15 minutes, which is the regular, or the whole hour. And also that includes the people over on WZZN TV. Make sure you subscribe to that. But Daniel has been chilling with us this entire show. I just want to give him a little shout out. as we get into our predictions.
And before we do, letting you know, Daniel is somebody that he works with UAH as well. And any of the broadcasts that I am on, that Steve or Scott or any other UAH broadcast that you're seeing, the reason why it looks as good as it does is because of what Daniel is doing. And he and Sam are working on this stuff. And I'm telling you, like, when I was in college, this was the kind of stuff I wished that we had at UAH, because in the communications program, it was literally just a building and that was about it. There was no, television program and radio shows and all this other stuff that you could potentially do, all this play-by-play stuff and all that. There was none of that. And I love the fact that UAH is building that up. I love to be a part of it, because this was the one thing that I kind of wish I could contribute, just mainly because I'd like to, do something more than what I actually did in my baseball career there.
It sucks for you. It sucks for you, Joe. But I mean, you had at least had fun playing baseball. But for Daniel, this is interesting. I was also working on some of that stuff, doing the basketball video feed, getting to work the scoreboard. Like, they were throwing me at all that stuff. So I feel that on a different level. But Joe, we only have a few minutes left. That means the phone lines are still open. 256-576-97.7. We gotta make some predictions for this Super Bowl.
We didn't have time for that R. So the early line is out for Alabama, Florida State.
Oh, geez.
Would you like to guess what the line is? Alabama, Florida State kicks off the season for both teams.
Probably like 6.5.
8.5.
Wow.
In favor of Alabama. 8.5 point spread.
Doesn't matter if we got a blind bat throwing the football. I don't think Florida State's going to be that good first game.
Hey,
I know them.
They have Gus.
They do.
They have Gus, and Gus they trust. They've basically just brought in the next head coach, and they're making the offensive coordinator. That's really just, what it is, depending on what happens. But you can get on the phone lines at 256-576-4977. Super Bowl 59 is going to be taking place Sunday night, 5 o'clock. You'll be able to listen to every single second of it right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. But let's go back to those phone lines. Shane, welcome in to the Blitz, man. How's it going?
Good morning, fellas. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. I'm getting home early from work today. But, yeah, just you guys were making were you talking about the lines for, was it Alabama and Florida State?
8.5. Yeah, 8.5 early lines according to On3.
Have you guys seen or heard predictions for next year's playoffs? Because I'm willing to bet my Gamecocks are going to make it.
Oh, write it down. Shane is calling that. I'm actually wanting to look up college football playoff projections right now, just to kind of see at what they might be afterwards, because, somebody has the way too early ones right now. This actually came out like January 6th is when this happened. So they have Kansas State and Oregon. They have Michigan, Notre Dame. They have Miami, LSU, Georgia, Penn State. They even have UNLV in they have UNLV as a projection for next year for the 2025-2026 season. Yep. Now, is this one place? I pulled it up quickly.
You can't really fully deny that one, though. All right. If it wasn't for Boise State, UNLV would have been in. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, very true. But like you said, that's way too early, and we'll find out.
No, you're right. And Shane, we're going to write that down so that we fill that one on there. You've already, John,
it's already
written down.
Yep, it is already down. Now we got to talk about the Super Bowl.
Hey, it's happening.
What's going on in New Orleans?
Yeah, no, it's happening.
Right now, of course, Chiefs are a 1-point favorite, at least going into the betting lines. But in reality, I look at this game and I see a team in the Eagles, Nick Sheridan. I see a team that has the formula to beat the Giants, aka the Chiefs. I don't know. I mean, this probably wasn't the best because they're all different names.
I was sitting here thinking to myself, what's it going to help them if they can beat the Giants? Almost everybody in the NFL can beat the Giants. They have the formula to beat the Giants. Yes, they can run out of the locker room.
Joe, what is your prediction?
Look, I do think that the Eagles have the better team. I'll say exactly what I said on Tom's show. Unless you cut the head off the snake, I'm still picking the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Until you do it, I will pick the Chiefs.
This is a multi-headed snake, though. And I think if you even cut the head off the snake, which could be, of course, Saquon Barkley, you still have Jalen Hurts. Then you still have Devontae Smith. and you still have Cox on the defense.
Wait, what?
It's a guy.
What?
He's a name. What are you saying?
I don't know. You're talking South Carolina.
31-24.
31-24. Also, Kendrick Lamar performing at halftime. This is a major missed opportunity if Taylor Swift doesn't do bad blood with him.
Propose.
Yeah, all of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as